I'm not allowed to talk about politics. They tell me it counts against his time. So I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on politics. All I'm saying, the only politics I care about is keeping Trump from being president of the United States.
Have you ever dreamed that one day you'd see a senator boxing inside the ring?
Listen, when you live older, been in this business as long as I, and you're as old as I am, you see things new every day. You see an asshole guy who's swindled people and has made money in his business now running for president of the United States, threatening to deport 12 million people, and he has a chance to become president. In my whole life, I would never have expected to see anything so bizarre. He's interviewed on television, and it's obvious to anybody he knows nothing from nothing. He has no idea about foreign policy. If you asked him where the Philippines are, he'd probably put it in South America.
That's good.
The Canelo fight that you pointed out, not as if it's gonna happen or anything, but wouldn't weight issue be a big problem for that fight? Just asking, wouldn't weight issue be a huge problem for that fight?
No, Manny's always fought bigger guys. Didn't he fight Margarita? You know, he wouldn't come down. He couldn't come down. You don't want a fighter to come down in weight just to make a fight where he drains himself physically. It would be unfair to get Canelo to come down in weight. If Manny wants to fight him, he's got to bite the bullet and fight a heavier guy. What? Yeah, I mean, you know, look what... And Oscar is the promoter of Canelo, and Oscar knows when Manny Pacquiao fights a bigger guy how dangerous Manny is, because Oscar knows from experience what happened to him when he fought Manny.
In your take from a fighter having to come up or down, is there different effects there, like Khan going up and Oscar going down for Pacquiao? Is there a difference there?
It's easier for a fighter to go up than to come down. I mean, you can't ask a guy, no matter what the money is, to come down to a weight that's going to affect his performance because he drains himself. That's stupidity.
Do you think Canelo would take the fight?
I have no idea, but why wouldn't he? It's the biggest fight around.
Have you had a conversation at all with Oscar De La Hoya about it?
I don't want to talk about conversations because, as I say, Manny has a tough fight coming with Bradley, real tough fight. And Canelo doesn't have a walk in the park with Amir Khan.
What has been the most, in your mind, the most successful trilogy here? It seems like you have Eric Morales now. He's fighting this third fight with Bradley. He's had 4 with Marquez. What has been the more one to joy, the biggest joy for you, the biggest accomplishment?
They're all interesting. I think the greatest trilogy that I was involved in was the Ali Fraser 3 fights. I mean, every fight was a great fight.
Okay, Mr. Apparently, Canelo seems to be top of the list now, but where's Terence Crawford now? I mean,
Terence Crawford is, to my mind, is one of the great fighters around. And, you know, if Manny decided to not retire and wanted to fight Crawford, I would be very happy to do that.
Why wasn't Crawford the first option when it came to this fight? Why did you guys decide?
People don't believe me. The options aren't mine. The options are Pacquiao. You know, Pacquiao tells me who he wants to fight, and I tried to make the fight on the best possible terms. But these guys, these Filipino guys, know that it's Pacquiao who decides who he wants to fight.
So Pacquiao ultimately decided he wanted to fight Bradley a third time as opposed to the other.
Yes, absolutely.
As for Crawford, Mikey Garcia was asked about the fight that you said he was asking for too much money for a fight against Crawford. He stated that not a fight was offered to him, not one fight has been offered to him.
All he has to do, look, Mikey Garcia fought many years for Top Rank. He's still on the contract with Top Rank. All he has to do is stop playing games, get on the phone and call me or Todd and say, I would like to be considered for the Crawford fight. And then we can discuss terms. But nobody's going to call him up where he hasn't fought in over 2 years and offer him a fight, and then he'll say, hey, they offered me a fight, they want to get me killed.
When I talked to him, he said that his biggest problem was that no fight was offered him at all, like to even try to settle the deal. And he would at least wanted to see you guys offer him anything. Is there a reason why the fights weren't offered him at all, any fight in the last?
Well, that's not true. Fights were offered to him, but he has a inflated idea of his value. You have to understand what happened. Let's be frank about it. PBC came in with all this money that was money from the mutual fund, and were paying fighters tremendous amounts of money. That made no economic sense. Now that PBC is running out of money, purses are going down to realistic levels. So if Mikey Garcia wants to fight for a realistic amount of money, we'd be happy to do a fight, whether it's Crawford or anybody else. But he or his lawyers should call us.
What are other names that potentially could be offered to him or were offered at some point
Who?
during his layoff?
Yeah, Gamboa was offered to him at one point. Gamboa, definitely. I remember that.
And Bob, you want to settle this as much as he does and kind of either work it out or...
Nobody wins in litigation.
Thank you, sir.